Hey and welcome to the Daily Arsenal News Show. Let's begin with our daily news. Report provides Aden Kataya fitness update ahead of Arsenal versus Fulham. Arsenal will take on Fulham this weekend, looking to get back to winning ways after their draw in Lisbon last night. Mikel Arteta had to put out a somewhat patched up starting 11 as a few first teamers were missing. Martin Odegaard was the main player to miss out through illness, while the likes of Kieran Tierney and Aden Kataya were both absent as well. A 2-2 draw was about a fair result for the Gunners last night, but they will be hoping to welcome some faces back at Fulham and pick up another big 3 points. However, while Arteta might be able to get some players back, the Evening Standard reports that Aden Kataya is still considered a serious doubt for the game. Nketiah has been nursing an ankle injury for some time now, and the ES reports he is still unlikely to be fit for this weekend. Nketiah's absence is a bitter blow for Mikel Arteta, who could also be without Leandro Trossard as well, and with Gabriel Jesus still working his way back, Arsenal could go into the game without a forward. Nketiah only recently signed a new £100,000 a week contract at the club. Since then, he is proved a vital member of Mikel Arteta's squad. With Jesus coming back, Nketiah will have been hoping to be fit and firing to at least give Arteta something to think about. However, with Nketiah now out and Jesus returning soon, the young Englishman could find himself back to square one. Tomorrow's clash at Fulham is a tough task as well, and to go into the game with non-Nketiah, Jesus or Trossard is difficult. Mikel Arteta will be desperate for this recent bout of injuries to clear up. Nketiah had been playing well in fairness to him, while Trossard had also shown signs. West Ham are now keeping tabs on Kieran Tierney. West Ham United are reportedly keeping tabs on Kieran Tierney's situation at Arsenal, as per a report from 90 Minutes. The Scottish defender has seen his playing time limited after the arrival of Zinchenko and could be on the market this summer. Aside from West Ham, Newcastle, Leeds and Aston Villa are also reportedly interested in the left back. However, there is an argument to make that Tierney's best move would be to join West Ham as a replacement for Aaron Cresswell, who at the age of 33 will soon be phased out of this West Ham team. The Hammers have also been linked with a move for Reece Nelson from Arsenal, so perhaps a double swoop from their London rivals could be in the offing. However, whether West Ham stay in the Premier League this season may determine if the transfer materializes. Currently, they are just 1 point above the relegation zone and could easily get dragged into the bottom three, and a relegation to the Championship would quickly throw the brakes on this potential move. West Ham have endured a poor season so far, but with a talented squad and a manager who has proved he is capable of a lot more, perhaps Tierney would be tempted to move to the London Stadium. Much like Cresswell, Tierney is a brilliant attacking left-back who can cross the ball brilliantly, and with David Moyes utilizing a style that relies heavily on good crosses being delivered, he'd be a great fit. It remains to be seen whether Arsenal would be willing to sell the so-called outstanding defender this summer, but West Ham would undoubtedly be a good destination for the Scottish international, given their need for a new left-back and their style of play under Moyes. Mikel Arteta finds one word to describe Jakub Kiwior's debut for Arsenal last night. Mikel Arteta belatedly handed January signing Jakub Kiwior his Arsenal debut last night in the 2-2 draw with Sporting. Arsenal resumed their Europa League campaign in Portugal, and Arteta did make changes, but also chose a strong starting 11. It's clear that he is not just resting all his first-choice players for the assault of the Premier League title, but there are chances for the likes of Kiwior to get game time. It was an entertaining game with Arsenal getting a decent result to bring back to the Emirates Stadium next Thursday night. Arteta was asked by the club media after the game what he made of Kiwior's maiden Gunners appearance and said, "I think he was good. It's the first time he's played, so it was a different partnership. When you make 6 changes to the team, that cohesion isn't really there. and you can sense it, especially in the first minutes of the half. After that, I think the team got better and better. Overall, I think he played a good game. Kiwior got just over 70 minutes of the game before being replaced in a triple substitution as Arsenal went in search of a winner. He will hope to get another game in the return leg and continuing in European competition may be the only way French players like him get starts between now and the end of the season. What it does mean is that Gabriel does not have to play every single game like he basically was before the January window, because Arsenal did not have an alternative on the left of his central defensive duo. Mikel Arteta reacts to Fabio Viera display in Arsenal draw with Sporting. Mikel Arteta has suggested that Fabio Viera was Arsenal's most dangerous player against Sporting and claimed that he absolutely loves the Portuguese in comments reported by Football London. The Gunners are in a decent position going into the second leg of their Europa League tie. A second half own goal ensured that the Premier League leaders secured a 2-2 draw. Sporting definitely caused some problems for a changed Arsenal side, but Arsenal will feel that they deserved a draw overall, and a number of players stepped up and sent a message to Arteta with their displays. Fabio Vieira was one to come into the starting lineup. It was his corner which set up William Saliba for the opening goal in the first half, and the 22-year-old showed his class on a number of occasions. Certainly, Arteta was extremely impressed with what he saw from Vieira as he reacted to his performance after the full-time whistle. He said, as reported by Football London, the following: "Really happy with him. I think he deserves more minutes than he's had in the last 2 months. You saw he was probably our most dangerous player. He is a player that I absolutely love." It would be a surprise if Vieira was expecting to be integrated into the Arsenal side so gradually. He has only made 2 starts in the Premier League, with a further 14 appearances coming from the bench. He has been one of the players to suffer from the Gunners being so good this season, but he will take a lot of encouragement from Arteta's comments. He would not be the first player to really benefit from Arteta not rushing him. Both Gabriel Martinelli and William Saliba went through turbulent spells before the Arsenal boss really gave them their chance. Ultimately, if he can emulate those two, Arsenal will be able to reflect on another masterstroke from Arteta. It definitely appears that he is another special talent waiting in the wings. BT Pundits criticized Matt Turner after Sporting goal against Arsenal. Rachel Brown Finnis and Martin Keown have criticized Matt Turner, telling BT Sport that they are not convinced that you can trust the goalkeeper after the first goal Arsenal conceded against Sporting on Thursday. The home side scored when Gonzalo Inacio headed home a Marcus Edwards corner. It was not the toughest chance, with Jakub Kiwior not jumping with the defender. Kiwior received some of the blame. However, both pundits felt that Turner should have done a lot more, given that the goal was scored from just a few yards out. He doesn't command his area, Brown told BT Sport. He knows it's going to be an in-swinger, so you have got to be a little bit flat to your line. But he is not set, so he is moving. Therefore, if you are moving, you can't make a decision and go for it. He has to command this. It's 3 yards out. He's got to go and make contact, got to clatter the player. He is uncontested. That doesn't help Matt Turner that Kiwior just does nothing, almost shrugs away. That, to me, indicates he's had a shot. We have not seen anything to say that, but the keeper's got to come. What I'd be saying, if I am playing regularly with this keeper, I am going to have to go and head things because I can't necessarily trust him. I hope it's a one-off, Keown added. It was a mixed first half for the USA international. He made a couple of smart saves to deny the home side. However, he almost cost his team later in the half. Had Sporting's players been a little more alert inside the box, they would have had a simple task of scoring after he gave the ball away. It cannot be easy for Turner. Aaron Ramsdale is the clear number one at the Emirates, and thus Turner has had to be very patient this season. Ramsdale does not look like giving up his spot anytime soon, but the 28-year-old has to take the chances which come his way if he is ever going to stake a claim for significantly more game time. Unfortunately, it's hard to say that he did that after his performance on Thursday in Portugal. Arsenal legend Martin Keown says Saliba is better than Gabriel Magalhaes. Arsenal legend Martin Keown has heaped praise on William Saliba and claimed he is a better defender than Gabriel Magalhaes following his performance against Sporting Lisbon in the Europa League last night. The Gunners were held to a 2-2 draw by Ruben Amorim's side at the Estadio José Alvalade yesterday. Mikel Arteta will not be too happy with the performances of a number of players, but he will be delighted with Saliba. The £40,000 a week Frenchman was the best player on the pitch last night. Arteta handed Jakub Kiwior his Arsenal debut last night, and the Pole struggled. He was partly at fault for Sporting's first goal and didn't really look confident for most parts of the game. His partner in defense, Saliba, on the other hand, was on a completely different level. The Frenchman barely put a foot wrong in the entire game. He was incredible at the back for the Gunners and had a huge impact at the other end of the pitch as well with his goal. Keown, who knows a thing or two about defending, is beyond impressed with Saliba. He hailed the Arsenal man on BT Sport after the game last night. The Arsenal legend said, as quoted by the Daily Mail, just a word on Saliba, a player that Arsenal brought 3 years ago and went out on loan for 3 seasons. You'd be thinking, am I really going to be an Arsenal player? This is his first season as an Arsenal player, and in the first game of the season against Crystal Palace, he was man of the match, and he's been brilliant ever since. I think he is growing in stature. Just listening to him speak and the goal he scored tonight, his performance, he is a proper central defender. He and Gabriel make for a really good partnership. I think he is ahead of Gabriel. He is doing everything you want. There is a hunger, taking responsibility as he wants to get into the next round. He is given everything for the cause. He is very composed, strong. Again, he's got the ingredient of pace. Look at the goal. I guess Tony Adams was noted for scoring at set pieces, and he's got in on the act again. It's a nice habit if your heads is the first to the ball in either box. It's a really nice header. Keeps it down. Journalist makes Alexis McAllister transfer claim. Arsenal will head into the summer with the idea of signing a new midfielder firmly on their minds. After missing out on Moses Caicedo in the January window, the Gunners opted to sign Chelsea's Jorginho as a short-term solution. However, Arsenal are widely expected to look for a younger option this summer. Among those options mentioned so far have been the likes of Declan Rice and the aforementioned Caicedo. However, another player who could be on Arsenal's radar is a Brighton midfielder Alexis McAllister. According to respected South American journalist Gaston Edul, Arsenal and Chelsea are the most interested clubs in signing McAllister as it stands. Edul was speaking on his Twitch channel about all things Argentina, and in there came the mention of Arsenal and McAllister. McAllister is expected to be one of the more in-demand names come the summer. His stock rose considerably over the winter as he helped Argentina win the World Cup. Since then, he's continued to excel for Brighton, who are in the race for Europe. Arsenal, meanwhile, seemingly have money ready to spend on a new midfielder, maybe even two. And should the likes of Caicedo and Rice sleep the net, it seems the amazing McAllister is a viable alternative. Most Arsenal fans would see Declan Rice as the holy grail type signing. If they can land the Hammers Dynamo, then their midfield gets an instant uplift. However, Arsenal know how tough it will be to land such a player. With that in mind, Alexis McAllister is more than suitable as a third or fourth option. He showed his class in Qatar, and his form for Brighton has been outstanding. The added bonus of being another who doesn't need embedding into Premier League life also appeals. Brighton could demand around £70 million for McAllister, but it might be money well spent for the Gunners. I will be uploading daily Arsenal news, so keep your eyes on the channel and don't forget to like and subscribe. I appreciate your support. Peace out.